Yo, 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 what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm RJ. I hope you're having a good week so far. I did want to let you know we're going to have a big weekend, including a Red Dead Online fashion show on both Xbox and PlayStation. You can join up. Make sure to sub if you are new, hit the notification bell. With all notifications on, it'll let you know as soon as we go live. So today we got Arthur Morgan at the haunted Saint Denis Cemetery. Did you know that this cemetery is based off of one of the most haunted cemeteries in the entire world? I'm going to show it to you in today's episode. And also, there's a ghost sighting you can have here. I've not shown it off here at Trippy Commentaries. So we're going to look at that, the haunted Saint Denis Cemetery, and a lot more in today's episode. Do me a huge favor, hit the like button. I also want to give a special shout out to the members, the Trippy Club. We are going to start up the Trippy Club Discord. We're going to have the grand opening next week. So you can join in. I'll have a link in the description to the Trippy Club. Join up, and hopefully we'll see you at a live stream later on tonight. So with all that said, we're looking into the Saint Denis Cemetery based off of the St. Louis Cemetery in New Orleans, Louisiana. Definitely a trippy location. I have to give a huge shout out to Medic Gibby. He hit me up with the info. He's one of our mods. And here's an article from Ghost City Tours. You can tell by the pic. It is looking like the Saint Denis Cemetery. Now there are three different St. Louis cemeteries. There's number 1, number 2, and number 3. All are pretty close to one another, and all are haunted. I think Rockstar is representing all three within the St. Denis Cemetery. Why is the St. Louis Cemetery haunted? One of the many tombs in the St. Louis Cemetery, which are in poor shape. It is definitely looking familiar. And one of the people who are buried there is Marie Laveau, the Voodoo Queen. Could the Voodoo Queen be buried in Saint Denis? Here's some footage of the Voodoo Queen's tomb. Now, it has been refurbished, so it looks way better than it should. It was falling apart, but she's really in there. You can see people leave offerings. I even see a coffee cup. Not a bad offering. Now, what people do is they leave 3 X's on her tomb. It is said that when you die and come back to life, you return to the Queen's tomb and then put circles around the X's. There's also a Voodoo King's tomb in the cemetery, and you can tell it looks pretty much like that Saint Denis Cemetery. We got to see if we can find the Voodoo Queen. Here we are back in Saint Denis. The sun just set. Starting to get a little bit creepy here. Now, Medikibby told me he looked everywhere in the graveyard looking for the same 3 X's. He could not find them. I've been searching as well, but this tomb right here has the same exact design as the Voodoo Queen. It definitely looks close. It could be the Voodoo Queen right next to the Voodoo King. But they're not the only infamous tombs that you can find at the St. Louis Cemetery. You can also see the tomb of Madame LaLaurie. And this one right here looks a lot like Madame LaLaurie's tomb. There's so much to see in the cemetery, including the ghost woman. I'm going to show you that shortly. But the graveyard was also featured in a major movie. I'll show you the clip of Saint Denis Cemetery in a movie. Here she is, Madame LaLaurie. You have to see this. Now, by the way, that was from the movie Easy Rider, a scene from the cemetery. I've not seen that one. It looks like I should. That was trippy. The haunted history of the LaLaurie Mansion in New Orleans. It is perhaps one of the best known stories of haunted houses in the city. It tragically recounts the brutal excess of slavery in a horrifying and gruesome manner, because for more than 150 years, the LaLaurie house has been considered the most haunted location in the French Quarter. So it is right there in the city. Wonder if we can find it in Saint Denis. Maybe they have like a recreation. In the late 1930s, Eugene Bacchus, who served as sexton in the St. Louis Cemetery number 1 till 1924, discovered an old cracked copper plate in alley 4 of the cemetery. The inscription on the plate read, Madame LaLaurie. So there she is. That is when they discovered where she was buried. Also, just so happens to be in a recreation in the Saint Denis Cemetery. Here's the tomb, like the one from the movie Easy Rider. So the clip I just showed you, it is matching the statue where Peter Fonda, was hugging, but you can find the same statue on the top of the gazebo. So instead of being on that tomb from the movie, you can see it right here. So it's kind of an Easy Rider Easter egg from when they were tripping out right here in the cemetery. So I'm going to show you the ghost, and after that, we have to look at the most infamous grave in the entire St. Louis cemetery. It belongs to somebody who is not even dead yet. Load up a mission in Chapter 4, Angelo Bronte, a man of honor. So you're going to want to stick to the left of the cemetery until you run into this hobo. And I believe we can trigger the woman by... There she is! You take a right. I think I'm going to try to pause it and go into photo mode, because right now I can only kind of power walk. Now, she doesn't necessarily look like a ghost like you might see somewhere else in the game, but many people believe that she has a very mysterious backstory. Where'd she go? Wait, did she disappear? Here's more footage of the ghost. Notice how she was not there. You turn back and she appears. That is why people think she's a ghost. Now, when you tie her up and get a closer look at her, she doesn't look like a ghost to me. But the fact she does appear out of thin air, and, you know, we really don't have any obvious answer to why she's here in the first place, definitely makes her one of the most mysterious aspects of the Saint Denis Cemetery. Here we have the pyramid tomb of Nicolas Cage. By the way, huge shout out to Menahek for posting that footage. That had over 300,000 views, so apparently I am not the only one who wants to see a closer look of the ghost lady. I will have a link if you guys want to watch it. So in 2010, Nick Cage purchased the last 2 plots in the St. Louis Cemetery #1 so he could build his own pyramid. He's not even dead, but he already has his tomb plotted out in the most haunted cemetery in the entire world. That is trippy. And I gotta say, Nicolas Cage is one of my favorite actors of all time, so it's only right that he be buried in the St. Louis Cemetery right next to the Voodoo Queen. He definitely has that voodoo vibe about him. Once again, huge shout out to Meta Gibby. So just like the St. Louis cemeteries, this one is completely falling apart, but there's still so much more to talk about. I had to show you that without a shadow of a doubt. The Saint Denis Cemetery is based on the St. Louis cemeteries. There's so much going on here. This is definitely one of the coolest locations in the entire game. Do me a huge favor, hit the like button. Stay tuned, we got a live stream coming up later on tonight. If you guys have a trippy weekend, we're going to have a fashion show in Red Dead Online that you can join up in. So until then, stay tuned, and as always, we're going to join the ghosts. Make sure to stay trippy, my friends. Y'all come back now, you hear?